I'm Nancy, and this is my informative speech. I like history. I'm a curious person, and I like to hear and learn about times gone by. Having said that, let me give you the month and year of the information that I'll be sharing. The month is June, the year is 1962. It was a hot summer that year, at least that's what my mother told me. Of course, that's not an actual confirmed fact. Let me give you some historical events that did take place in June of 1962 that are confirmed facts. In June of 1962, an Air France Boeing 707 headed to Atlanta, Georgia, crashed at Orly Airport in Paris. 130 people were killed. A stewardess located at the back of the plane was the sole survivor. Most of the passenger killed were Americans returning home from visiting the art treasures of Europe. For many of them, this was a once-in-a-lifetime trip. The plane crashed through gardens and homes before exploding. The crash stemmed from the right wing dipping and hitting the ground. Apparently, the pilot, from evidence obtained at the scene, tried to abort takeoff, but obviously was unsuccessful. A crime that society faced in 1962 was a well-known serial case. The crimes took place in Boston. The killer was known as the Boston Strangler. Alberto DeSalvo confessed to these horrific crimes. The first victim, Alice Slesser, was sexually assaulted and discovered in her apartment in the bathroom with a rope tied around her neck in a bow. The second victim, Mary Mullins, was also discovered. On that same day, a third victim, Nicole Nichols, was discovered as well. All victims were found with a rope tied around their neck in a bow. This became a trademark of the Boston Strangler. Another heavier event that took place in June of 1962 was the escape from Alcatraz Island Prison. The escape plan took several months to design. It included decoys and water survival gear. Rafts and preservers were made from raincoats donated by fellow inmates. It's surprising that the officials did not know of the escape, considering how many inmates participated. The 3 inmates that escaped dug through cell vents to reach the top vent of the cell block. They were the only inmates that ever escaped from Alcatraz. On a lighter note, in June of 1962 was the first time the Beatles met the producer George Martin. This is the Beatles' first trip to the EMI studio on Abbey Road. Their first session lasted 3 hours and consisted of making 4 songs. Also in 1962, the Marvel superhero Spider-Man made his first appearance in the Marvel Fantasy 15 comic book. The issue was scheduled for August of 1962, but actually hit the stands in June. 2 guys created Spider-Man, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Unusual for its time, it portrayed a teenager in a starring role rather than a supporting role. Spider-Man was portrayed as a moody, multi-layered, deeply human individual. Spidey was like nothing that never came before. His outfit was primarily red and blue, broken up by intricate web lines with sharply white angled eyes. The entire fair was a masterpiece of work, considering that it reached so many readers, even though placed in a comic that wasn't very popular. I hope that you have enjoyed hearing and listening about these interesting tidbits. Curiously, though I've heard of these facts before, I actually never knew when they took place. Who knew that the Boston Strangler's first crime, the escape of 3 inmates from Alcatraz, the Beatles' first recording session on Abbey Road, and the first appearance of Spider-Man took place in the month and year that I was born. I guess history is history, regardless of the month or year that it takes place. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to your comments and critiques. Have a good day.